Hello, Self-Refactor. This is Marcos speaking. Today you will learn how to create a simple Telegram bot using NestJS, which is a NodeJS framework, and TypeScript. So what is NestJS? NestJS is a Node.js framework for building backend or server-side applications in a reliable and a very efficient way. So let's start by creating a folder here called Node.js Telegram bot. Perfect. Now I'm gonna open up this folder on the terminal. So here it is. Now I'm gonna start a new NestJS project. I'm gonna say nest new. I'm gonna call it npcsj Telegram bot project. I'm gonna use yarn. Great. So before we proceed, if you like this kind of content, just give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can keep learning more about NestJS, Python, and other technologies that can help you to create more value to other people. Now that the initial setup for the project is complete, let's get into it. I'm gonna enter into the project folder. I'm going to open up the project using VS Code, code. So what we have here? Here we have a basic project created by NestJS for doing server-side applications. Here we have the main file, which is responsible to bootstrap the application and to call the root module from the project with its controllers, with its providers and ports and so on. So here we have a simple controller created by NestJS, which has a simple service layer, which basically returns hello world from this function, and this is it. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to create a new module which is going to hold the code for the Telegram bot. Let's do this. I'm going to open up the terminal here, and I'm going to use this NestJS CLI. For doing this, you must install NestJS CLI on your machine, and you can do this by following the documentation here. So open up here, click here on the documentation, and then you run this command on your terminal. Okay, great. Now for creating a new module, let's do nest g module Telegram. I'm just gonna call it Telegram. Perfect. Now we create a new module called Telegram, which basically has an empty module. Let's create the service layer for it. Nest g service Telegram. Perfect. So here we now have the Telegram module with the Telegram service. NestJS could inject this code automatically with a basic Telegram service for us. Great. So now we need to install this dependency to allow the code to work properly. This library called Node Telegram Bot API. So I'm gonna copy the name here. I'm going to open up the terminal and I'm gonna write yarn add the library name. Perfect. Now let's follow this basic instruction suggested by the library. So let's import the library. I was doing some tests previously, and if you try to use the modern version, use the import, it's not gonna work. So if you do, so this is the suggested way to do it. If you try to do import Telegram bot from the library, it might not work really well. So just follow the way that the library suggests. Okay, great. Now let's create an instance for the bot. I'm gonna declare it here, private read only bot. Since this is a JavaScript library, there is no definition for the TypeScript. So I'm just gonna say any here. And then this dot bot will be just like the definition here. New Telegram bot. And now we need to define the token. For now, I'm gonna pass an empty string. I'm gonna call it Telegram token. I'm gonna pass an empty string. And okay, great. So let's define a function to receive messages from Telegram, which is this example here. We can create an arrow function here, this.bot.on message. So we can pass, for example, an arrow function here with the message object. Or we can define an arrow function in the class on receive message any, and then you pass the reference to it from here, this dot on receive message. Perfect. So now let's define our Telegram token. For doing this, you must open up Telegram on your mobile phone or using Telegram desktop. The following examples might not work pretty well on the Telegram web, so you need to use Telegram desktop or Telegram mobile app. If you try to use the Telegram web, when you try to test your bot, you're gonna see a message like this. So that's why I have to use the Telegram desktop or the mobile Telegram. So what we need to do, we need to start a conversation with this bot called the bot father. This is the bot responsible to manage the other bots on Telegram. So you need to start a conversation with it. And this is what you can do with Telegram, with bot father. So you can manage your bots here. You can create a new bot, you can see your bots, you can delete some existing bots, and so on. You can see the whole description here or see the manual by clicking here. So let's create a new bot. I'm gonna say /new bot. I'm gonna call it mpcsj tech tips YouTube bot. It's a long name, but I think it's gonna work it. Okay, so now this is the name which is going to be visible. Now we need to define an ID for it. I'm gonna say the same name. It must end with bot, just like it says here. So since the first name already ends with bot, so I'm going to say the same name. Perfect. So now we create a new bot, and then we need to pass this token to our code. I'm gonna go to the VS Code and pass the token here. Perfect. So now this is we need to pass to the code, and that's it. So whenever we receive a message on Telegram, it's gonna fall on this function. Let's make a simple test. I'm gonna declare a logger here, private logger, which is going to be a new NestJS logger. You can use console log if you want to, but since I'm using NestJS, then I'm gonna use the logger defined by NestJS. And then I'm gonna pass a context to here. In this case, it's Telegram service .name. I'm gonna pass the class name as a context. Perfect. And then here I'm going to basically log the message .debug, and then I pass a message. Perfect. Since we created this module using the NestJS CLI, so it was automatically injected on the root module here, imports Telegram module, which is the module that contains the Telegram service layer with our code. Perfect. So let's start our application. Yarn start dev, which is the command defined here. The dev command for using the watch mode. So whenever you make changes on the code, it's going to be detected automatically. It's going to retrigger the TypeScript to transpile the code and then restart it with the new changes. This is easier for us to make more tests. So let's start the project. Perfect. So now let's send a message into our Telegram bot. So this is the bot created. So for starting a conversation with the bot, we can basically click on the link provided by the bot father, clicking here, and then I'm gonna click here, start a conversation. and then you will see that something arrived on the code, which is the start message created by me. So let's send something to our new bot. I'm gonna say, hello, self-perfecter. Perfect. So here you can see our new message, and this is the text received from the bot. So if you want to create something to parse the message, if you want to create an automated chat, you can receive the message and then you can parse the way that you want. So you can create some automated service using Telegram and your code. Great. So something to keep in mind. This is the ID from the user. So in my case, this is my ID on Telegram. So whenever you want to send a message to someone on Telegram, so you need to make a reference to this ID to that person. So if I want to send a message to my user on Telegram, I need to keep this with me. So I'm gonna create here a constants file. I'm gonna call it telegram.constants.ts. I'm gonna say export const test user, and this is the ID of the test user that I'm gonna send a message to it on the Telegram bot. So I'm gonna port here the ID from the user, which in my case it's my user constants. I'm gonna say test user. So now I'm gonna create a function here that can send messages to a user. I'm gonna say send a message to user. So two things that we need to define. First of all is the user ID on the Telegram, and the second attribute is a message, which is going to be a string. So what we can do here, basically I'm gonna do this dot bot. So let's follow the example here, dot send message. So this is the way that we can communicate, that we can send messages to the Telegram bot using our code. So this is the chat ID, or in our case is our user ID, and the message. Perfect. So I'm gonna do this directly on the constructor. So whenever this class gets instantiated, I'm gonna send a message to this test user telling that the code that the server got started. So I'm gonna do this dot send message to user. I'm gonna pass the test user. I'm gonna redefine this to be test user ID. Pass it here, and then I'm gonna say basically server. Started at. Then I'm gonna basically pass a date, new date. Perfect. So whenever this class gets started, it's gonna send a message to this ID, to this user on Telegram. So let's test it out. I'm going to basically save the changes. So NestJS already retriggered the execution, and here on Telegram we can see the message sent by our code. So server started at this date object. Great. So now we have a fully functional Telegram bot which is capable to send and receive messages to users on Telegram. So you can extend this code to do whatever you want to fulfill your needs. So if you like this kind of content, just leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can receive more videos like this. And don't forget about it, the more you learn, the better you become and more value you can create. I hope you liked it, and I see you in next time.